الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم إنا نجعلك في نهور أعدائنا ونعوذ بك من شرورهم اللهم بدل شملهم وفرق جمعهم وشدد كلمتهم وزلزل أقدامهم وسلط عليهم كلبا من كلابك يا قهار يا جبار يا منتقم يا الله يا الله يا الله اللهم يا منزل الكتاب ويا مجري السحاب ويا هازم الأحزاب اهزمهم وانصرنا عليهم اهزمهم وانصرنا عليهم اهزمهم وانصرنا عليهم وصلى الله على سيدنا النبي أمه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أنا حسين سامه. أنتم تستمعون الآن إلى IIUM FM, your campus radio.
Weh Fan, kau buat apa ni?
Buat apa lagi? Rakam lah. Aku tengah buat live ni kau.
Weh, kau biar betul. Kau tahu tak, merakam tanpa kebenaran dalam panggung adalah satu kesalahan.
Alah, relax lah, Min. Bukan
boleh jadi baik. Fan, baik kau hentikan sekarang sebelum aku laporkan pada pihak panggung.
Wait. Janganlah. Okey, aku stop sekarang.
Bapa yang bersalah dalam soal ini.
Perbuatan merakam secara langsung atau tanpa kebenaran dalam panggung wayang adalah satu kesalahan dan boleh merugikan karya tempatan. Ini sekaligus akan membunuh industri perfilman Malaysia dan mencacatkan perkembangan hasil daripada penggiat karya seni kita. Sokonglah karya tempatan dan hentikan perbuatan merakam secara haram. Pesanan khidmat masyarakat ini dibawakan oleh IIUM.FM. Dengarkan slot Jom Sembang setiap Khamis pukul 8 hingga 10 malam hanya di IIUM.FM, radio kampus anda.
Apa kemauan sadri Bapak tunaikan? Segala apa hajat sadri Bapak sempurnakan. Saya ingat sadri pandai bercakap bohong sama Bapak. Saya ingat sadri menipu Bapak, menipu untuk kepentingan diri. Tetapi Bapak hanya anakku Sadli.
Assalamualaikum and welcome everyone to IUM FM, your campus radio. I'm your host this evening, DJ Irdina, and today we have a special episode, Women in Media, Stories Behind the Scenes, with a special guest joining us to share her journey through the media industry, her experience as a small business owner, and how she has embraced family life so far. So let me first introduce our guest. Her name is Miss Dimitra Azina Abdul Razak, who started her career at just 19 years old in New Straits Times in the 1990s. After years of experience in NST, she joined a smaller advertising company where she took on impactful projects that shaped her career and her life. Later, she transitioned to a bit of entrepreneurship and family life. So her story is one of resilience, adaptability, and the courage to embrace new chapters in life, which I'm sure will inspire many of our listeners. So let's get right into it. Assalamualaikum and welcome Miss Dimitra to IUM FM. It's great to have you here. Hope you're comfortable in our cozy studio tonight. And how are you feeling so far?
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, DJ Udina. Yes, I'm feeling a little bit nervous, but I'm sure along the line we'll be all right.
Yes, along the segments, we're gonna be all right. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the beginning of your journey. So you started your career at New Straits Times at only 19 years old. So what inspired you to step into the company at such a young age?
It actually came by chance, I was currently pursuing my diploma in a college, a diploma in advertising. So then one of my family members, I think, I believe it was my auntie, who saw an ad
Oh, okay.
in the New Straits Times. It was an ad for a sales training program with the New Straits Times. So when she showed me, I was like, yeah, of course I was intrigued, but then I was taking my diploma at that time. But after consulting my parents, got an okay from them, promised them that I would continue my diploma also, even though it's just part-time.
Okay.
So I applied for my, the training scheme.
The training program,
program with
okay.
Straits Times, yes.
So what was it like joining New Straits Times at only 19 years old during the program? What did you learn during the program? What was it like, and how long did it last?
Okay, truly it was a marveling experience at 19 years old, joining a big conglomerate, so I would say it was a chance of course I couldn't pass. That was my main motivation behind, not stopping my diploma, but, just...
Yeah, taking it part-time
taking
and
part-time
taking
and all
this
that.
opportunity at the
Yes.
same time, yeah.
It was a big opportunity to pass.
Yeah.
When the training took about 3 to 4 months,
Okay.
including the attachment that we had with the physical publication.
Okay.
So we were trained on the physical attributes of the newspaper itself. We learned how the company takes its the news gathering system,
Right.
the advertisement placement, advertisement gathering. So because it was great that I had that training, because I did not know anything about how you read the newspaper, but you do not know what
goes into it. Yeah.
How do these people, what are the various departments that's involved in the publication. So at that time, what we learned was the news input, the news collection, to the printing processes, right up to how the market receives the publications.
Okay. So obviously, you gained a lot of experience in those. It's quite a short time, 3 to 4 months.
It is a short time.
Yeah.
It was intensive training that about the physical attributes, the SWOT of the newspaper,
Right.
as well as the sales pitches that we had to learn when we meet up our clients. Yeah.
So what was it like as a 19-year-old in this environment? I mean, NST.
Okay. Like I said just now, it was really marveling, jaw-dropping as well. It was like, what am I doing here? But at the same time, I quickly learned that somehow I had to mask my inexperience.
Yeah.
Seniors were kind, of course, but I didn't want to be an inconvenience.
Right. I mean, they're
yeah.
okay with assisting, but you don't want to ask for help all the time.
Yes, we didn't want to, because I believe that there's so much that people have patience for. We can ask for help, but come on, you have to bring something to the table, you know? So I was really conscious of that, and I knew I had to step up. I learned a lot by observing as well as mimicking the social aspects as well as the workflow and of that organization, of being in the Straits Times. I would say I had to be a social chameleon, if you will.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, definitely. So, working, I heard that eventually you were absorbed into the company.
Yes.
Was it after the training?
After the training, we were, for the first 3 months, we were pretty isolated in the training department, which is a building away from the main building of this New Straits Times. But after that, we were put into various publications. So there were 20 of us. So some gets to go to New Straits Times, Berita Harian, Harian Metro, Malay Mail.
Different organizations.
Yeah, we had about 4 publications at that time. And with the introduction of a new publication called Harian Metro, I was put in Harian Metro.
Okay.
When I joined, it was the year that Harian Metro was launched. Yeah, so I was put in that, and eventually, after our probationary period, where we had to, of course, we had some sales targets that we had to meet, then we were absorbed. Some of us were absorbed.
Okay. So obviously it must have been both exciting and challenging at the same time to just like from the training and absorption into the company. So what are some of the key lessons or skills you learned during your time there?
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, being a part of a large conglomerate at the forefront of meeting clients. I'm not in clerical or anything like that. That's at the back, so it's okay if you're young, but you are at the forefront of a big. You're representing a big company.
Yes.
You can't be seen as someone, because the outside people, my clients, do not know how old I am. So meeting clients as well as. From big organizations, you meet people like Coca-Cola, you meet big companies like that. You meet international agencies. You have to somehow
to step up.
You have somehow to look like things. So meeting these people, big companies, was really eye-opening. I learned to adapt to all kinds of clients, the kind ones to the more difficult ones. The one that had a barrage of complaints, or so that's normal, because you're a client. You have to, there's some things that you want to be. We have to meet, a certain criteria of those clients. So you learn to adapt to all kinds of this, and we learn how to communicate with this various types of clients.
Yes.
So, but the core lesson I would say that I learned was, you have to put yourself out there. There's not much place for being in the media if you're a timid person. I was quite a timid person, but when through this processes of the training, of the learning to simulate myself with my colleagues in Straits Times, so I learned to come out from my shell. And one thing also that also never think little of being able to comfortably converse in English. You would think it's nothing. You would think it's normal, because you and I probably, we are able to converse at the drop of a gun or whatever. But at that time in the 90s, I didn't realize it, but that was one of the criterias, one of the things that actually distinguished me from the other candidates.
Also, language was also a playing factor in your...
How comfortable you are with that language, how you're able to think and speak that language.
Definitely. Okay, that's amazing. I mean, it takes a lot for someone that age to adapt well into a company like NST. I mean, and I agree that, and it still applies today, like what you said about... we need to put ourselves out there to stand out among candidates, and especially now in the digital age where competition is crazy.
It's greater,
it's greater, So, very insightful, your experience, and we will be taking a short break, and we'll be back with the next segment only at IUM FM, your campus radio. Sure of what to eat? Head over to Mr. K Fried Chicken. With their deliciously seasoned fried chicken combo meals, your taste buds will be dancing and your cravings will be satisfied. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to Mr. K Fried Chicken, only at IAUM Student Mall, open from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Mr. K, a crunch with every bite.
Best diet tips: drink plenty of water or other calorie-free beverages. People sometimes confuse thirst with hunger, so you can end up eating extra calorie when an ice-cold glass of water is really what you need. If you don't like plain water, try adding citrus or a splash of juice like mango or peach, which have lots of flavor but no calories. Think about what you can add to your diet, not what you should take away. Start by focusing on getting the recommended 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. Work vegetables into meals instead of just serving them as sides on a plate. Consider whether you are really hungry. Whenever you feel like eating, look for physical signs of hunger. When you are done eating, you should feel better. Keeping your portion reasonable will help you get more in touch with your feelings of hunger and fullness. Be choosy about nighttime snacks. mindless eating occurs most frequently after dinner, when you have finally sit down and relax. Either close down the kitchen after a certain hour or allow yourself a low-calorie snack like a 100-calorie pair of cookies or a half-cup scoop of low-fat ice cream. Once you can find that you are usually satisfied with the low-calorie snack, try a cup of zero-calorie tea. This message is brought to you by IIUM.FM, your campus radio.
Sebenarnya program ini kita harapkan kita dapat menjalankan aktiviti-aktiviti untuk kita sharing. Sharing is caring. Keruntuhan umat manusia, umat Islam hari ini dah sampai maksimum. Kita hilang yang pertama sekali hati, akal yang sedar dengan fitrah. Bila kita hilang tadi tu, sebenarnya kita telah hilang Allah daripada hidup.
Dan Dakwah every Wednesday 6 to 7 p.m. Stay tuned with us. I'm DJ Atika and I'm DJ Ati at IIUM.FM, your campus radio.
Welcome back, everyone, to IUM FM, your campus radio. You're still with me, DJ Irdina, and our special guest, Miss Dimitra. So just a quick recap for our listeners. We've discussed our guest's amazing journey into NST in the 1990s at only 19, and her experience in the advertising and sales department at that age. So, Miss Dimitra, how are you feeling so far?
Oh, I feel all right.
Okay.
Thank you for making me feel comfortable.
Okay. So let's get into the second segment. So, Ms. Dimitra, after more than a decade in NST, you decided to join a smaller advertising company. So, what were the motivations behind that move, and how did the experience differ from working at a large organization like NST?
Okay, after the environment was changing in the media, the environment was changing after 15 years. I was there for 15 years. I did enjoy my time, don't get me wrong. It was, being in NST was really enjoyable. It was really fun. It was a fun place to work at.
Yeah, for 15 years, definitely.
Yes. So, however, I felt that it had become rather stale and I needed a new challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, after...
I was pretty young.
Yeah.
I was pretty young still. So,
yes.
yeah. So a good friend of mine offered me an opportunity at the new company. She opened up a small ad agency.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to relearn a lot of things. Things that I'm not used to. I went from being at a company that had 2,000 employees to being at a company which had less than 10.
Less than 10.
Less than 10.
Oh my
so
God.
you can imagine the multi-tasks that everyone had to do.
Yeah, everyone had to take on a lot of roles,
Yes,
including
that's
yourself, right?
Including myself. I was just not just meeting my clients, but I had to do the behind the scenes as well.
Right.
I was also the client servicing director, as well as inputting to the graphics department, inputting to the copy, writing department.
Oh my gosh.
Becoming the editor of the books that we had to. So many things, and had to learn a lot of things. Along the way.
Yeah, I mean, compared to like receiving orders, you are the one now like giving the orders to each department.
From being the media, I was one who was reaching out to all the various medias in Malaysia. At that
Right.
time.
So now you're the outsourcing.
Yeah.
Like you're outsourcing, looking for other companies to help on those
Yeah,
projects.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Okay. So obviously, multitasking, I think our listeners and everyone knows today is such an important aspect to have in, like, if you want to work or just work on any project, your personal projects or anything, it's such an important quality to have. So speaking of projects, at the smaller company, you started working on some pretty significant projects. So could you share maybe one or two examples that were maybe like memorable or meaningful or maybe challenging to you?
Okay, one of the projects that I was involved in is called the Angkasawan Negara project.
Oh, Angkasawan Negara.
Yeah, it lasted from 2006 till 2007, where that's when our astronaut took off. So the pre-takeoff messages, pre-takeoff advertising campaign was handled by my company.
Oh, that's amazing.
The company I
Wow.
was working at. So basically, the backstory of the Angkasawan Negara project is when Malaysia bought 18 fighter jets from Russia.
Okay.
So they in turn agreed to train and fly a Malaysian at that time who got to be that particular Malaysian was Dr. Sheikh Muzaffar.
Wow.
Yeah, he is quite a candidate. There were two candidates that was going neck to neck, to vie for that position
right.
of being the Malaysian astronaut at the time. Yeah. So as I said, my company handled all the advertising as well as the promotional materials of the campaign, up until where the astronaut went up into the spaceship lah. So we had to prepare the whole media plan as well as the different messages for the different medias, billboard, newspaper, TV, radio, then the smaller news portals as well as the various social media, the small social media that they had at that time.
Oh,
Not many,
okay.
but,
At that time.
Yeah, so that's how it was then. And the program's primary objective at that time was to improve the country's image, to make I don't know whether I think you were aware. I think you were schooling at that time, where the country took on wanting to make science and science technology as well as maths very important, so that people to raise awareness of the importance of science, technology, and the space industry.
Yeah, I do remember at the time until like maybe 2010s. I think the government was very pushing like maths and science and
that's
basically STEM in like students and just integrating that interest into students that early on. Yeah.
So that was when this tie up with that as well. So it was timely. So the Angkasa Negara project also to provide the nation with a feel-good feeling of, yes, hey, we can make our dreams come true as well. Malaysia, a tiny nation, will have an astronaut going up to space, to the International Space Station.
Yeah, I'm sure like so many were inspired by this event and the fact that you worked on it.
Yeah, I was. It's a huge project, to take on actually.
Yeah. Can we know what are some of the advertising and promotional materials that your company did?
Okay, like I said, the pre-launch messages was huge, up until where the TV stations, the various medias showcase and broadcasted Dr. Sheikh Muzaffar performing a few experiments.
Oh, okay.
On the spaceship in space, as well as him taking wudu, as well as performing salah on the spaceship.
Wow.
So yeah, to us, I think as a Muslim nation, it was like a big thing. Wow, we can see the first, because the only Muslim on board at the time was Dr. Sheikh Muzaffar.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, our Malaysian astronaut. So
I mean,
that's
that
a big thing.
Yeah, it gives like that's what's unique about us. We have like Malaysian Muslims are able to.
Yes, we wanted to have that feeling. It's a great feeling to have, like, that pride that comes.
Yes, and it's so unique for like Malaysia. Like we have someone like Dr. Sheikh Muzaffar.
Like you said just now, it's a huge project. Yes, it was a huge project.
So that obviously really shone a spotlight on Malaysia during the project's time, right?
Yes,
so
it is.
What did it feel like overall just to be part of this project? Maybe like for personally and your career. Yeah.
Okay, I felt elated, of course, to be part of this project. It was huge. It was really huge, and I felt really proud when Dr. Sheikh Muzaffar went up on the Soyuz. I was bursting.
I was bursting
after
all those promotional materials and advertising, and finally seeing
when the
end product.
Yes, the countdown itself gave us goosebumps already. So when he went up into it was like. Like it felt like maybe your child going up on
yeah. I'm sure everyone watching the televisions at that time.
Yeah,
they felt
I think
the same
Malaysians
way.
as a whole felt proud.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I can't imagine the feeling, but when you're telling the story, obviously it feels like I was there too.
Yeah.
Even though I was only like maybe 5 years old, but it still felt like I was there.
It was a great thing.
Yeah. Okay, all right, everyone. We'll be taking another quick break before we go on to our final segment. Again, dear listeners, stay tuned to IUM FM, your campus radio. Feeling hungry after a long class? Not sure of what to eat? Head over to Mr. K Fried Chicken. With their deliciously seasoned fried chicken combo meals, your taste buds will be dancing and your cravings will be satisfied. So, what are you waiting for? Head over to Mr. K Fried Chicken, only at IAUM Student Mall, open from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Mr. K, a crunch with every bite.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Untuk topik hari ini, kita membincangkan tentang Allah Maha Baik. Okey, saya nak mengajak kita semua sama-sama untuk mengenal siapa itu Allah, supaya dengan mengenal Allah, ia akan mendekatkan lagi diri kita pada Allah. Seterusnya menambahkan lagi sangka baik kita pada Allah. Kerana dengan sangka baik inilah akan mengatur dan menyusun kehidupan kita untuk menjadi lebih baik, insya-Allah. Semoga dengan apa yang saya share hari ini dapat manfaatnya dan boleh kita aplikasikan dalam kehidupan kita, insya-Allah. Jangan lupa dengarkan di IIUM FM, your campus radio.
Bismillah. Lagu daripada saya, Muhammad Irfan Safwan, dan juga saya, Muhammad Nasdan. Kenangan yang telah berlalu takkan ku lupa. Hanya engkau yang aku mahu. Sudah tentu Kisah cintaku bersamamu tidak sempurna, walau apapun kita tetap akan bersama. Hariku lebih indah apabila engkau ada. Ku menunggu kau pulang sekarang. Ku rindu wajahmu, senyuman manismu sayang. Hanya kau pemilik hatiku, tiada yang dapat mengatasi cinta kita apa adanya. Hariku lebih indah apabila engkau ada. Ku menunggu kau pulang sekarang. Ku rindu wajahmu, senyuman manismu sayang. Bila kau tiada, ku renung gambarmu, menunggu sampai kau tiba. Where did you go? I've got so much to say, so you can go. Tak bisa ku percaya engkau sudah tiada. Ku takkan menerima kenyataan kisah kita. Tolonglah pulang. Ku rindu wajahmu, senyummu yang sudah hilang.
All right, welcome back everyone to IUMFM, your campus radio. We are here with our final segment for the session, here with your host DJ Irdina and our guest Miss Dimitra. Hope everyone is still feeling well, and and hopefully we can gain more inspiring stories from Miss Dimitra in this final segment. So, Miss Dimitra, in 2014, after the advertising company, you decided to leave behind the industry and later on delve into your own business. So again, why did you decide to leave the media industry as a whole, and what kind of business ventures did you explore?
Okay, why? Okay, as I mentioned earlier, I was working with a small advertising and events and PR agency. So there were many busy nights. I even had many busy weekends away from my children.
Oh, I see.
There are times when we had to sleep over in the office, things that I'm not used to. So but this is fine. Working there for nearly 8 years, so I'm used to it. But it comes to a point where I notice that my children are growing up, and I'm not there most of the time sometimes. So
right.
In fact, once I even had to bring my youngest with me at 4 a.m. in the morning. I was still nursing him at that time.
Oh my gosh.
To check on an event that a client had, an event of a golf tee-off at the venue.
Okay.
Yes, golf tee-off venue. So
at 4 a.m.
At 4 a.m. So scoop him up, put him in the car, drive with him to the venue, which is...
To all our listeners, this is possibly the reality of working in the media industry. The hours are just so random, and you never know when you're going to work. It could be early in the morning, and
yes, sometimes you have to visit the production, the printing plant to check whether the photo that you've supplied to the printing, to the publication, they run it properly, the colors out, that's normal. That's you have to go over and beyond satisfying your clients, because they pay a lot, so they expect some kind of professionalism from your side as well. So at that time, maybe I wouldn't say a last straw, but that contributed the fact that I had to bring my small child with me, nursing at that time still, but I had to, even at home, I had to edit some coffee table book for my company. So it's not a relaxing time with them sometimes, So that was what motivated me to maybe wake up and look, maybe I can do something else.
Right. Yeah. Basically, you need a balance between your work and family.
Yes.
And that's what led you to start a small business. So what was that business? And
okay, I needed a small module, a small business module. So I thought that maybe online business was something that I could. It's easily a bit achievable at that time. So I decided to start a hijab and accessories business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was interested in it, I think, and I so the hijabs that I sell at that time was the types that I would wear.
Oh,
the types that I think would it's.
Yeah, it's something you like.
Yeah, something I like. Something I
it's like your taste.
I sell
in hijabs.
only what I like.
Yeah, I think that gives a personal touch to your business, right?
So I felt it was more. I will become more passionate then if it's something that's closer to my taste.
Yeah.
So basically. Handling a small business, I felt more relaxed, and I could find the family balance. I could find,
because you're going at your own pace.
Yes,
yeah,
true.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's very refreshing from you, since you could manage things on your own now, and compared to the hectic work life that was a part of the media industry, and just you have time to spend with your family, through this small business venture.
Yeah, true. That's the main thing.
So now you've been deeply dedicated to your family, especially as a caregiver for your autistic son, I heard. So how did you navigate this, transition, and what have been some important lessons you learned, now that you're embracing family life?
Okay. Well, my son is mildly autistic.
I see.
So that he's still able to function normally, but still needs our assistance, in regulating his emotions most times, basically that. So otherwise he's able to perform like, he's able to just operate like a normal teenager. He's 16 now, yeah. So caring for my children, especially children with special needs, and my son, is part of the amanah that's been given to us, right? It's our responsibility.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Allah has, has required that of us. So
yes, and caregiving for someone with autism is definitely, you have to go a little extra mile to make sure they feel comfortable at home and like outside.
It's always a learning experience for me. I am still learning to navigate how to regulate his emotions, help him understand his emotions. What more with post puberty and all that. So it's a challenge both for he and I, to be able to. We are close, but him being a teenager, there's just a certain barrier that he has, put to a certain extent. He has, he wants to be
growing
up.
He
feels like
definitely
he has to put on that, the teenage
personality.
Personality, that gruff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you learned a lot of patience, like during this. Embracing this family life and caregiving aspects as well.
Yes. I would say, I hope, somewhat. Yes, I have learned that really I have to be patient in helping him, and all the various hardships that come in which is coming from
the mild outbursts maybe.
He has him dealing with being a teenager. It's not easy for him as well, and then me getting used to him that way. Our family is, everyone in the family has to learn to be more patient with him. So when it comes to my son, I slowly learned how to appreciate that. The special person that he is, actually. Although I have my times as well, but he and I,
it's a learning process, basically.
It's something that we learn, and I have to be more patient with him, lah.
Yes, definitely with children with special needs. So we are approaching the end of our session, unfortunately, for today, Miss Dimitra. So. Before we end, I would like to ask a final question. So, what message would you like to share to our listeners who are mostly young adults, or just anyone who's planning to enter the workforce and maybe uncertain with their own path?
Okay.
And since you have great experience in many, throughout your
great
journey.
experience, I'm not too sure, but yes, I do have experience. So, for those who are looking for the first job, or if you have all the academic qualifications, that would be the best. Do not. If possible, you don't have to put, stop first, or if you can get through your academic qualifications, that would be best.
Okay.
But just try any job that matches your qualifications as well as your interests, I believe, to get your experience. If you have secured a job, treasure it and learn as much as you possibly can.
In any job that
one that matches your qualifications as well as your interests. Once you secure it, treasure it. Because whatever experience that you gain will take you on to another level in your career, as well as your self growth.
Definitely.
That you cannot buy. So, but to me, at the end of the day, for me, life is all about balance between career and family. I need to have that. I think the youngsters nowadays, I think you have already identified that you would somehow want to have that kind of balance.
Yes, we do.
That, it's good
compared to back then. I think people prioritize it now.
Yes. Back then we would just work. Yes, take whatever. But you have identified. You know that as well. So I think that's good on the new generation for identifying that very much earlier. So but to me, at the end of the day, yes, it's a balance that you have to have between family life as well as career, and you also have to strive for that balance between dunya as well as your spiritual well-being.
Yes, definitely. We have to experience.
We have to strive for it.
Yes, definitely. You have to balance. I mean, that's the core part of not only as human beings, but also in Islam as well is a core part.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So, yeah, what a great closing to our session, Ms. Dimitra. I'm sure our listeners are feeling very inspired with your journey and your advice as well. So to our listeners, we hope that you learned that life is full of different chapters and that we should embrace each one that opens up with ease, of course, and like Ms. Dimitra mentioned. And thank you so much to everyone for tuning in this evening, and a special thank you to Ms. Dimitra for joining us. This has been DJ Irdina. Hope everyone has a great evening and keep listening to IAUM FM, your campus radio.
Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين